Have you ever felt your mind screaming even when the world around you is completely silent? You sit in a quiet room, no voices, no movement, and yet inside, everything is restless. Thoughts chase each other in circles. Regrets replay. The weight of what-ifs presses heavy against your chest. It's strange, isn't it? The world keeps getting louder, even in silence. But if you listen closely, beneath all that noise, there is something else. A space that doesn't shout or demand, only waits. A stillness, ancient and vast, that has always been there. Just beneath your breath. Take a deep breath now, and begin the journey back to yourself. Life never stands still. It rises and falls like the tide, gain and loss, joy and sorrow, beginnings and endings. Nothing lasts forever. Yet peace, true peace, never leaves us. It doesn't live in temples or mountaintops. It lives in awareness, in the way you breathe, in the way you see, in the way you return to this exact moment. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." Those words are not a promise of escape but a reminder of return. The path home is already inside you. Today, I want to share with you 7 timeless lessons from the Buddha, 7 ways to remain calm, positive, and centered, no matter what life brings. These are not abstract ideas meant only for monks or philosophers. They are living practices, small shifts in how you see yourself and the world. Each lesson is simple, yet deep, like a drop of water that reflects the entire sky. Together, they create a quiet map back to the still point within you, the place that has never been broken. No matter how fierce the storms have been, you'll learn how to speak to yourself with kindness when the inner critic grows loud. You'll learn to honor your body as the sacred temple that carries your spirit through this life. You'll learn to set goals without losing balance, to welcome change instead of fearing it, and to train your mind to notice beauty and gratitude even on the hardest days. You'll rediscover joy, the quiet, grounded joy that makes your heart bloom again. As you listen, don't rush. Breathe slowly. Let each word settle like a drop of rain on still water. This isn't a lecture or a sermon. It's an invitation to remember what peace feels like. To rest in it, even for a moment, because the peace you've been searching for has never been lost, it's been waiting patiently. Under the noise, under the worry, under every breath. So wherever you are right now, sitting at home, driving, or standing by a window, pause. Feel the air enter your lungs. Feel it leave. That single breath is the doorway back to yourself. Welcome to Dharma Veins, where ancient wisdom meets the modern heart. And where every breath is a bridge back to stillness. This is your space to slow down, to see clearly, and to remember that calm is not something you find, it's something you return to. Now, let's begin. 1. Be gentle with yourself. Whisper, "I'm doing the best I can." When the Buddha spoke of the path to end suffering, he wasn't only talking about letting go of the world outside. He was also showing us how to free ourselves from the harsh voices within. We usually think of karma as something we create through our actions or words toward others. But the truth is, the words we whisper to ourselves each day are also part of our karma. After decades of studying Buddhist texts, I've realized something profound. Being hard on yourself isn't discipline, it's fear wearing a disguise. Fear of falling behind, fear of not being enough, fear of not being loved. So we punish ourselves with cruel inner monologues. I can't believe I did that. I'll never get it right. But the Buddha reminded us that no one deserves your anger more than yourself when you turn it inward. Because when you fight yourself, you plant seeds of suffering in your own mind, and those seeds grow into how you see the world. Think about it. After you criticize yourself, do you feel more peaceful or smaller? Heavier? More hopeless? Self-criticism never accelerates growth. It drains the energy that growth requires. Kindness, on the other hand, refuels us. When you talk to yourself like a wise friend or a gentle teacher, your breath steadies, your shoulders drop, and clarity returns. In modern psychology, we call it self-compassion. In Buddhist language, it's metta, loving kindness directed inward. Compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about ending the war within. When you whisper, "I'm doing the best I can," you're not making excuses. You're recognizing impermanence, that today, this is what you have. This is who you are. And that's enough. Tomorrow, you'll have new understanding, new strength, and you'll do differently. But right now, This moment deserves acceptance, not punishment. Many people fear that self-kindness will make them weak or complacent. But look closely. People who truly understand their limits are usually more patient, humble, and kind to others. They know everyone is fighting their own unseen battles. Compassion doesn't slow you down, it gives your steps a steadier rhythm. When you speak kindly to yourself, you radiate calm, your words become softer, your eyes warmer, and your presence more grounded. I often tell my students, whenever you feel like you're not enough, pause. Place a hand over your heart. Take a slow, deliberate breath in, exhale gently, and whisper, "I'm doing the best I can." If you mean it, you'll feel something shift, a quiet release, a small doorway opening inside you. Through that doorway, learning begins again, change becomes possible, and love, real love, starts to flow inward before it flows outward. Being gentle with yourself isn't laziness, it's an advanced form of awareness. It's standing on the middle path, not collapsing into guilt, not escaping into denial, simply observing, accepting, adjusting. In the end, what matters is not how quickly we move forward, but how compassionately we return to ourselves after we stumble. Each time you whisper, "I'm doing the best I can," you plant a seed of peace in your mind. And one day, that seed will grow into a garden, a place where all your old pain finally learns how to rest. 2. Honor your body. Feel your breath from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. In Buddhist philosophy, the body isn't something to escape or reject. It's the first monastery, the living temple where awakening begins. The Buddha often called the body, this fragile raft, reminding us that while it's impermanent, it's also sacred. It carries our consciousness, our memories, our capacity to love and to learn. Without this body, there would be no practice, no realization, no compassion in motion. Yet most of us treat our bodies like servants, demanding, ignoring, criticizing, until they finally collapse. We push through fatigue, skip rest, numb ourselves with noise or screens, and then wonder why peace feels so far away. But the truth is, the state of the mind is never separate from the state of the body. A tense body makes a restless mind. A quiet body gives birth to clarity. Honoring the body, therefore, is not vanity, it's reverence. When you sit down to meditate, you don't abandon the body, you return home to it. You notice how the breath enters through the nose, travels down the spine, softens the belly, and rests in the soles of the feet. You sense the gentle rise again, all the way up to the crown of the head. That one full cycle of awareness, from feet to crown, is like walking through your own temple, bowing to every sacred chamber along the way. Try it now. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly, as if your feet were breathing too. Let the breath travel upward, through your legs, your chest, your shoulders, until it reaches the top of your head. Then exhale, letting that same breath flow back down, washing tension away as it returns to the ground. This is how you worship without words, through presence, not performance. When you start living this way, every action becomes part of your spiritual practice. Eating becomes an offering, walking becomes meditation, sleep becomes restoration. You start to feel gratitude simply for being alive in this body, this temporary, miraculous form that lets you touch, taste, feel, and give. The Buddha said, "He who is mindful of the body dwells in peace." He didn't mean to obsess over appearances, but to cultivate intimacy with life itself. The body is not a cage, it's a bridge between the seen and unseen. The earth and the breath, the mind and the cosmos. So the next time you feel disconnected or anxious, don't look for peace somewhere distant. Stand up, plant your feet firmly on the ground, take one conscious breath, and feel it travel from the soles of your feet all the way to the crown of your head. That simple act of awareness is about to existence itself. When you honor the body, you honor the life it contains. And when you move through the world with that kind of reverence, even the smallest gesture, lifting a cup, taking a step, exhaling, becomes an act of grace. 3. Set attainable goals, the middle path. The Buddha's middle path isn't an abstract philosophy, it's a way of living that applies beautifully to how we pursue our goals. In a world obsessed with speed and achievement, many of us swing between two extremes. We either push ourselves too hard and burn out, or we lose motivation and give up altogether. The middle path teaches us something wiser, that growth happens not through intensity, but through consistency. Think of it like this: if you want to reach the top of a mountain, you don't sprint up in one breath. You take one mindful step at a time, steady and aware. Each step may seem small, but together, they carry you far. That's why setting attainable goals is a spiritual practice. It's not just about productivity, it's about cultivating balance between effort and ease. When we set goals that are realistic and aligned with our values, we practice right effort, samma vayama, one of the noble eightfold path elements. Right effort means applying energy with wisdom, not with tension. It's knowing when to advance, when to pause, and when to simply breathe. It's the difference between forcing a flower to bloom and creating the right conditions for it to open naturally. Too often, we confuse discipline with self-punishment. We think success means grinding harder, sleeping less, sacrificing joy. But the Buddha never taught exhaustion, he taught moderation. The middle path is that sweet space where effort is sustainable, progress is gentle, and peace accompanies every step. Try this. At the start of your day, instead of writing a long list of impossible tasks, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today, with full presence? It could be 10 minutes of meditation, a mindful walk, or finishing one meaningful task with your full attention. When you complete that single step, celebrate it, not with pride, but with gratitude. The mind learns through reward, and gratitude is the most wholesome form of motivation. Remember, enlightenment itself wasn't achieved in one sitting. Even Siddhartha walked a long, winding road, one step, one breath, one realization at a time. So if today feels heavy, if the mountain seems too tall, pause for a moment and whisper to yourself, today, just one steady step. That's all the path ever asks of you. Because the journey is not a race, it's a rhythm. And every mindful step, no matter how small, is already a part of awakening. 4. Embrace change and growth. If there's one truth the Buddha repeated more than any other, it's this: everything changes. Nothing, not even our pain or joy, stays fixed. The seasons shift, the body ages, relationships evolve, and the mind itself, ever restless, transforms with every breath. Most of our suffering arises not from change itself, but from our resistance to it. We cling to what feels familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We hold on to people, identities, or habits because they give us the illusion of control. But Buddhism teaches that grasping at permanence is like trying to hold onto falling leaves. They will slip through your fingers, no matter how tightly you grasp. Change isn't a threat, it's an invitation. An invitation to grow wiser, softer, and freer than before. When life shifts, when plans fall apart or doors close, ask yourself, what is life inviting me to change? That single question turns chaos into clarity. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? This subtle shift transforms change from a force of destruction into a force of evolution. Think of the tree in autumn. When the wind comes, it doesn't fight to keep its leaves. It lets them fall with grace, trusting that spring will come again. The tree doesn't panic when it stands bare. It knows renewal is already on its way. The same truth lives inside us. The person we're becoming needs space to emerge. And sometimes the old self must fall away like leaves in order to make room for growth. When we embrace impermanence, fear loses its grip. We begin to see that nothing truly ends, it only transforms. A lost job may give birth to purpose. A heartbreak may open the heart wider than before. A moment of uncertainty may push you closer to your authentic path. Try this reflection the next time life shifts unexpectedly. Sit quietly for a minute. Breathe deeply. Then ask, what is life inviting me to change? Notice the first thought or image that arises. Don't judge it, don't force it, just listen. That whisper is often the next step on your path of growth. The Buddha once said, as a candle is lit from another, so wisdom spreads from change. Each transition, each ending, each unfamiliar chapter is a spark, an opportunity to see life not as something happening to you, but as something unfolding through you. So, When the winds of change begin to blow, don't resist. Stand still for a moment. Let the old leaves fall. And ask gently, what is life inviting me to change? Because on the other side of that question, you'll find freedom, the quiet joy of becoming who you were meant to be. 5. Cultivate a positive outlook. Mindfulness. Look around and choose one beautiful thing to be grateful for. A positive mind isn't something you're born with, it's something you practice. In Buddhist psychology, the mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, water, and tend will grow. If you constantly plant thoughts of worry, judgment, or self-doubt, those seeds will take over the soil. But if, day by day, you plant awareness, gratitude, and kindness, the mind slowly becomes a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. The Buddha called this right mindfulness, sammasati, the art of seeing life as it truly is. Without distortion or resistance. Mindfulness doesn't mean forcing yourself to be happy all the time. It means being fully awake to this moment, seeing the small miracles we usually overlook. Each morning, you have a choice. Focus on what's missing, or on what's already here. It sounds simple, but this choice shapes your entire world. When your thoughts begin to spiral, pause and take one mindful breath. Then, look around, wherever you are. There is always one beautiful thing within sight. The color of the sky after rain. A cup of warm tea in your hands. The sound of someone's laughter. Or simply the rhythm of your own breathing. Now, whisper quietly to yourself, I'm grateful for this. That single moment of gratitude is a reset button for the mind. It interrupts the cycle of negativity and brings you back to the present, the only place peace can actually exist. Neuroscience now confirms what the Buddha taught 2,500 years ago. Whatever you repeatedly focus on rewires your brain. So when you practice gratitude, you're literally strengthening the neural pathways of joy and calm. Mindfulness, then, is not just meditation, it's mental training, a deliberate act of returning again and again to what is wholesome and real. Try this as a daily habit. Each evening, before sleep, recall 3 small things you appreciated today. Not grand achievements, small, quiet moments of grace. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe the sunset caught your eye for 5 seconds. Write them down, or simply breathe with them for a moment. Feel how your body softens. That is mindfulness, gratitude embodied. When you train the mind to notice beauty, you start seeing it everywhere. Even in struggle, even in loss, something remains beautiful. The courage to keep going. The breath that still rises and falls. The simple miracle of being alive at all. The Buddha once said, radiate boundless love toward the entire world. To radiate light, you must first learn to notice it. So the next time your mind feels clouded, take one conscious breath. Look around, find one beautiful thing to be grateful for. That single act of awareness is how darkness begins to dissolve. And how mindfulness transforms not just how you see the world, but how the world feels within you. 6. Engage in joyful activities. What makes your heart bloom right now? Joy isn't a distraction from the spiritual path, it is part of the path. In fact, the Buddha listed piti, or joyful interest, as one of the essential factors of awakening. True joy is not noisy excitement, it's the quiet energy that tells you, I am alive, and this moment matters. Many of us have been conditioned to feel guilty for feeling good. We think happiness must be earned after we finish every task, solve every problem, or become worthy. But joy doesn't wait for permission. It's already here, hiding in plain sight, in the smell of morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight, or a kind word exchanged with a stranger. Engaging in joyful activities is not self-indulgence, it's self-maintenance for the soul. When you nourish your joy, you renew your energy for compassion, creativity, and service. A weary spirit cannot offer light to others. The Buddha himself encouraged his disciples to walk in nature, to observe the beauty of trees, the sound of rivers, the rhythm of breathing, because joy softens the heart and opens it to wisdom. So, ask yourself, what makes my heart bloom right now? Don't overthink the answer. Just notice the small spark that appears. Maybe it's painting, cooking, gardening, listening to rain, or watching your child laugh. Follow that spark, even for a few minutes a day. Those moments of pure engagement, where time fades and you feel deeply present, are forms of meditation in motion. They reconnect you to the flow of life, the sacred playfulness of existence. Joy also teaches balance. It reminds us that the goal of spiritual life is not to escape the world but to experience it fully, with awareness and gratitude. A joyful mind doesn't deny suffering, it simply refuses to let suffering be the only story. Here's a small practice. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself, what makes my heart bloom right now? Whatever comes, big or small, give yourself permission to do it. Without guilt. Notice how even a brief moment of authentic joy changes the quality of your energy. How it brightens your presence. How it ripples out to others. The Buddha once said, happiness never decreases by being shared. Your joy isn't just for you, it's a gift to the world. So, let your heart bloom a little each day. Because every time you choose joy consciously, you're watering the seed of enlightenment, reminding yourself that awakening is not a somber journey through pain, but a dance between wisdom and wonder. 7. Cultivate gratitude daily. Write down 3 things you're grateful for today. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most transformative practices in all of Buddhist psychology. It's not just a moral virtue, it's a state of consciousness. A way of seeing the world through the lens of abundance rather than lack. The Buddha once said, "Let us rise and be thankful. For if we didn't learn much today, at least we learned a little, and if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick, and if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So, let us all be thankful." To live with gratitude is to live awake. It shifts the center of your attention from what's missing to what's already present, from, I deserve more, to, I already have enough. And that shift doesn't just change your attitude, it changes your chemistry. Modern neuroscience now confirms what the Buddha knew intuitively. When you focus on gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the natural antidotes to anxiety and despair. But gratitude in the Buddhist sense is more than saying, thank you. It's an awareness of interconnection, realizing that every breath you take depends on countless causes and conditions. The rain that fell, the soil that held, the farmer who worked, the stranger who smiled. You are not a solitary being, you're the meeting point of infinite gifts. When you start to see life this way, ordinary moments become sacred. Washing dishes becomes a chance to thank the water. Eating a simple meal becomes a prayer of appreciation. Even challenges become teachers, opportunities that push you to grow. Try this small daily ritual. Before you go to bed, take one deep breath, open a notebook, and write down 3 things you're grateful for today. They don't have to be grand. Maybe you finished a task you've been avoiding. Maybe a friend checked in on you. Maybe the sunset lingered for an extra minute. Write them down, slowly, and feel each one in your heart. This simple act rewires the mind. Day by day, you start waking up with a different awareness, less reactive, more peaceful, more in tune with the quiet gifts surrounding you. And on the days when everything feels heavy, when nothing seems to go right, remember, gratitude isn't denial, it's anchoring. It says, even now, there is still light somewhere. The Buddha taught that a grateful heart is the foundation of all virtues because gratitude leads naturally to generosity. When you recognize how much you've been given, giving becomes effortless. So tonight, as you close your eyes, whisper softly to yourself, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this day. Thank you for the chance to begin again. Then, write down 3 things you're grateful for, not as homework, but as a form of prayer. Because a life lived with gratitude is already a life of awakening. Take a slow, steady breath. Feel the air entering, cool, alive, forgiving. Now exhale, softly, like a tide returning to the shore. In this rhythm of breathing, the Buddha's teaching reveals itself. Peace is not something we chase, it is something we return to. The world outside often trembles. Somewhere, right now, a child is crying beneath the echo of war. Somewhere, homes are disappearing under rising waters. Somewhere, someone is searching for safety, for hope, for one quiet moment of rest. And yet, even through all of it, compassion continues to breathe. The Buddha's words reach across centuries. Hatred never ends through hatred. Only through love does hatred cease. So, as we close this reflection, let us send love beyond the boundaries of our own lives. Let it travel through every breath, every thought, every silent prayer. Breathe in, feel peace enter your heart. Breathe out, offer that peace to the world. May all beings be safe. May all beings find comfort. May all beings awaken to kindness. May all beings be free from fear. No matter where you are, this prayer unites us, not as strangers, but as human beings sharing the same fragile breath. Storms may rise, fires may burn, wars may wound the earth, but no force can destroy the light of a compassionate heart. That light is the quiet revolution that begins in silence, in you. If this moment of calm touched something inside you, let it ripple outward. Share it. Let your peace become someone else's reminder that stillness is possible, even now. Every act of mindfulness, every breath taken with awareness, sends healing through invisible threads that connect us all. And if these teachings speak to your heart, I invite you to stay. Subscribe to Dharma Veins, a sanctuary where ancient wisdom meets the modern heart. Here, we don't turn away from the world, we learn to walk through it awake. Each video is a breath, a moment to remember who we truly are beneath the noise. Not broken, not lost, but endlessly capable of compassion. Before you leave, take one final breath. Inhale, know you are breathing in. Exhale, smile gently. And whisper within yourself, may all beings be peaceful, wherever they are. Because peace is never private. It's an offering, a living prayer that begins with one calm heart and spreads quietly across the world. When you breathe with awareness, you are already helping it heal. Now, I'd love to hear from you. When you closed your eyes and breathed just now, what did you feel? Did something soften? Did a memory, a bit of light, or a small sense of ease arise? Share it below. Your reflection might be the very words that guide someone else back to their own peace tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for breathing. And thank you for helping this community of stillness grow. Until next time, may your mind be clear, your path gentle, and your heart as vast as the sky. This is Dharma Veins, where wisdom flows, and peace always finds its way home.